Hello. Hello, everybody. I know there's probably nobody there right now, but we're just going to get right into it. We're going to be talking. I love to use the verb be. We are going to talk about a few things that happened this week. The first thing I want to say is hello, how are you? Happy Friday. Um, yeah, that part. It's really weird because I just got through reading a story that I'm going to share with you guys in a few minutes, just to recap one of the stories that we did this week. And that was about none other than the president's pardon of Susan B. Anthony. Now, you guys heard me cracking up laughing while I was talking about the whole deal there. And, I'm going to tell you, it was the most amazing thing for me to open up the news today and to read the fact that, well, they said no thank you to the pardon, right? Now, you may remember when I did the recording, I was cracking up laughing. And the reason why I was cracking up laughing was because that was really a powder keg to go into. Off the top, it was just a powder keg to go into. And so it was one of those situations that, in my personal opinion, that it should never have been done. Well, first of all, the reason why I say that is because if you look into her history, you'll see that there were a lot of things that she said about Black folks at that time. And I just thought to myself, oh my goodness, he's going to get himself into some trouble. By opening up that door, they're going to bring up all of the things that she said when she was trying to defend herself about voting. And that, there was one phrase that she's quoted as primarily saying that, would you let a Black man vote before me, a woman? So what's the problem? A white woman, why would you do this? So when I saw that he pardoned her, I just thought to myself, oh my goodness, what is he getting himself into? But with that said, there is a story that's out right now, and I have so many tabs open and so many things that I want us to talk about today. But the one thing is definitely the no thank you. Okay, no thank you to the pardon. They don't want anything to do with it. And the reason why they said they want nothing to do with it is because of the fact that apparently she said that she did not want anything at all in this particular time frame. She did not want to pay the fine because she felt like paying the fine would mean that she was wrong and that she never wanted to be pardoned. Now, this is at the end of a quote that they said she made. But the reason why I said they said is because clearly it's not in the body of the quote. It's like it's tagged on. So primarily she was quoted as saying, hey, I'm not going to pay the fine because I didn't do anything wrong. And I don't want to be pardoned. I don't want anything. Just leave me alone. I'm not going to pay anything. So there's that. But yeah, I did. I cracked up laughing. It was me. I cracked up because it was hilarious. Let me read here what it says. And I'm going to be reading a lot of little things to you guys today just so that we can get caught up on some of the stuff that's been going on. First of all, did anybody watch? Did anybody get a gander of the last 4 days of the Democratic convention? I don't know if anybody did. Hello, Lady Autumn. Black Spring with Autumn is in the house. Hey, Princess. Did you get a chance to look at the Democratic convention? Because I just couldn't stomach it. I mean, I watched some of it, and okay, let's just, in all fairness, I think the reason why it was hard for me to get with it is because it was a lot of what looked like a long commercial to me, and I think that's because you lose some of the vigor and some of the sass that you get when you're having an actual convention. Now, to be honest with you, I like all the conventions when they normally have them because you get to, you get to see the people, you get to understand exactly what they think. I'm wonderful, ma'am. Thank you so much. You get to see what they have to say. You get to laugh a little bit, and you of course get to take some notes to sort of fact check some of the things that they say and line them up with the reality. And so with that said, I just couldn't take it. I mean, I watched some of it. I know my mom she loves them, and she really watches them. It really was, wasn't it? It was. It was incohesive, and she's absolutely right about that. You know, usually, if you have ever, excuse me, done any type of theater, or if you've done any TV, or if you've done anything like that, you would generally start with maybe a storyboard, right? And the storyboard will go in succession, and it will be succinct, and it will flow together. And you're looking for that when you're looking for any type of production. There were jokes that were made that probably shouldn't have been, like the Louis Dreyfus, the Julia. She was cracking a joke, and it was clearly a smash in his face. So it was like, who told her that that was an okay joke to say, and who would have approved it? Anyway, I just thought it was weird. One thing I want to ask you guys, was it just me, or didn't Biden look unique last night? Like the side of his head looked really unique. Hello. Hello, how are you, Vern's Junk Closet? Thank you for being here. Thank all of you guys for being here, because you know, hey, C Mac, what's good, big baby? What's the deal is that, you know what, we could all be doing something else, but really, being that it is this pandemic right now, I think we're all sort of getting used to it. But we still could be doing something else. So I appreciate you guys for being here. But for me, when I saw the whole entire thing, it just did not seem to be cohesive. It did not flow together, just as Black Spring said, Autumn. It didn't. It didn't seem to flow together. I was not really feeling the fake Biden. It didn't look like him. I mean, was it just me, or did anybody else? Oh, why, thank you, madam. I guess my parents' money they spent on that college education worked. Let's see, what did you say? Oh, thank you, my princess. Um, so I just felt like, when you consider that they had him standing up there, he just, to me, did not look normal. First, he was behind that blue green screen. That's the first thing. And you know, when that's going on, that there's something fishy going on, right? But I really don't think he looked like himself. But they do use a lot of makeup on these folks these days. So I don't know what that was, but I don't know. And I was expecting for a few more blunders from him, because you always need good comedy material. And he gave me some, in that some of the words seemed to be a little just strung along together with no direction. They were just running together. It was like one run-on sentence that he made. It was like, I'll just take this collection of words and I'll just put them all together because they might sound good. So here we go: watermelon and candy. And then we had the Coca-Cola straws. And then, of course, I just want to make sure that I am really going to make sure that the ocean is going to be backed up with the car. And it's just a good, I mean, I was like, my God, what did he just say? It was just like a lot of stuff. Yeah. Running together. And I just couldn't. So, oh boy, I don't know. You guys, so much stuff has happened this week, and I want to talk about it. Okay, we already talked about the pardon, where they said no thank you. So I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if they're going to take his pardon that he offered to Susan B. Anthony and just say no, forget about it. That's it. We're not going to do any of it. We're just going to let it go, and that's that. Another thing I want to talk about: how many people here watch that show called Sweetie Pies? By a show of hand, put a 1 in the chat if you ever watched the show Sweetie Pies. Okay, Sweetie Pie. They put me a 1, because I used to love that show. I liked that show. I really honestly did. Yes, it did. Blackstream with Autumn said that it looked like, hello, Gerald. She says that it looked like it was just a bunch of copy and pasted collections of other speeches. It did. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I did not like the fact that he said a lot of, you guys know I can't say F's very well, and got the nerve to have a name that starts with one. Fluffy. He said a lot of fluffy things. It was like everything was, because I'm happy. Everything was happy, upbeat, happy. But you know what? We're not dealing with a bunch of happy stuff. It was like all this happy stuff strung together. about loving each other and caring and all this other stuff. And I'm like, okay, that's all nice. Okay, got it. And then I'm gonna be the light, and I'm not gonna be this. I'm not gonna be dark. I'm not gonna be that. Okay, I got it. That's all. But how are you gonna do that? Tell me how you're going to do it. And then you want to listen, you guys. I want to be honest with you. I don't know if I could be a president. I really don't, because if you look at everything that this man is dealing with right now, first of all, first and foremost, that's a hard job. It is. It is. It's a hard job, and it's a thankless job, because remember, every single president has some good that they do, and they got some bad that they do, some more than others. We're not going to dispute that. But for you to stand there on that podium last night and tell us how you would handle the coronavirus or the virus pandemic that we're dealing with right now, that's not an easy fix. And I would hate to hear somebody get up and say that they're going to do something to fix this situation. How can you? There is nothing anybody could have done. He closed down the borders. They called him a racist. As soon as he closed it down, as soon as he said, okay, nope, we don't want anybody else coming from China. That's it. Stop it. What do? Oh, look at him. Oh my God, he's a xenophobe. He's a thisophobe. He's a phobophobe, and got the nerve to want to say a lot of stuff with F's and PHs, right? Anyway, they were just talking about him. And then I'm like, okay, but Miss Pelosi was just telling people, you guys, come on. Why isn't anybody in February? She was like, why aren't you guys coming to San Francisco? Come on to Chinatown. There's nothing wrong. Don't believe all of that hype. Come on out here. And then they were saying the same thing in New York. And it was like everybody was saying, come to their state or their city. And then as soon as he decided to say, hey, you know what? I think it's better for us not to have anybody else coming in from China, because we really don't know what's going on. So we're going to stop the travel. Then all of a sudden, he's racist. Now, last night, I'm hearing this guy say, oh, I'm just going to fix it all. But have you guys heard how he wants to fix it all? He said he's going to make wearing masks mandatory and everybody go back in the house and shut it all down. I'll hold. Think about that. Stay in the house and wear a mask. And some of them are talking about wearing them inside the house. I don't know. That just doesn't sound like something that I would be interested in. I don't think so. So we're going to all stay in the house and wear the masks until they get the fast-tracked thingy. That's what we're supposed to do under him. You guys, that's a thankless job. I would not want it. God help the person who gets the job, because that is a very tough position to be in. You will never make everybody happy. And in tandem with not making everybody happy, somebody gonna hate you. Somebody gonna dislike you. He's taking literally $1 per year for this job. He's only taking $1. So really what? $3.50. Well, we got our $3.50 worth, because I mean the cats only took $3.50 technically. Because, well, he's only taking $1 a year. So I'm sorry, but I had to get out of my scrubber. You'd have to pay me all my money for me to be the president. Because I would be like, oh, what did you just say? Okay, all right. You get dishes for a month. You're going to clean the dishes for one whole month. And you're going to go from hotel to hotel and restaurant to restaurant because you said that. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be like that. I don't know. I'd probably be too easygoing. I'd probably be about the business, but no, I wouldn't. I've been an HR manager for too long. I know I would not be easygoing. If there's anybody in here in the chat that has ever worked under me, whether it was on a district level when I was a director, or whether I was local, nah, I play by the rules, and you know I'm present. You know what I'm saying? You know I'm there. Yeah, so I bet not even say that, because there'd be somebody, she wasn't that easygoing. I'm easygoing to a point. You do your gig and we're good. You don't do your gig, then you got to see me. That's what you don't want to do. So with that said, I don't think I could have been the president. I really don't. I don't. So we got that part that I thought was pretty funny last night. Does anybody have anything they want to add about that last night? What did you guys think about it last night? What did you think about the last 4 days, period? How do you feel now that you've seen all 4 days? That's the question. Now that you have seen all 4 days, how confident do you feel for September? I mean, November. September is my birthday. So, of course, my brain is leaning. Let's see what we've got going on here in the chat. Hello, Victoria Shea. How are you? I already did your song, C-Mac, and Gerald. I already did yours. And my Black Spring with Autumn. You guys are all so awesome. So is there anything you guys want to talk about before I go on to the next topic? Just throw a topic out there. You know, this is a dialogue. I really wish that we could all sort of hear each other, but we can't. But with that said, I do have a couple of other things that are up here that I want to talk. Oh, Stacey Dash. Okay, I didn't see all 4 days. Hardly made. See, Meg. I'm sorry, y'all know I cannot. Y'all know I cannot pass up a good laugh. And what C-Mac just said was hilarious. He said, I didn't see all 4 days, and I hardly made it through one day. Through one day. Oh, yes, let's talk about sweetie pies. Oh, my goodness. The Democrats are the most confused set of people in the history of the world. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think that as far as unity is concerned, that's partially true, but they're very unified. Do not get it twisted. The entity that is running these powers are very unified, but there is a power that is greater than that. Okay? That was up on Golgotha's mountain that sort of shattered all of that right there, right? So it don't matter what's going on out there. There is a greater power that has said it's already done. So they can go ahead on and do what they're doing. But as far as unity is concerned, they're very unified. And they do seem a bit dismembered to us because we're looking at what to me looks like a bunch of animated entities walking around. To me, sometimes when I'm looking, I'm like, is it that I'm seeing in the spirit and they just don't look like people? Or what is this? Because it just seems so robotic to me. So now I'm going to say this because it sounds right. I'm going to repeat the exact same thing they did. And I'm going to say it 12, 13, 14 times until you believe me. That's what it's like to me. It's like they repeat it over and over again. And then, like we said in one of the videos that I did a couple of weeks ago, when you hear something over and over and over again, to your point, they may seem disorganized, but when you're saying something over and over and over again, that disorganization becomes unified. Think about that. They're repeating it over and over and over again. And if you look, ask somebody any of why they feel the way they do about voting for Biden and Kamala Harris, for example. Ask them why. They all have the same exact sentence. Now, that does not mean that everything that they're saying is absolutely an absolute truth, but they all have the same sentence. I asked a few of my family and friends, and I was like, why? And they were like, they all said the exact, because he's a racist. Or I don't care who it is. I just want him out. I don't care who it is. I just want him out. It could be a cat. I would not care. And I'm like, something ain't right about this. You have no individuality about it. You know, why? You got to have some, I need to hear why it affects you. Give me some concrete background. Let me read something. Show me where you're getting this information from. But they can't do that. And that concerns me. That concerns me because I see a lot of people that look like me who aren't doing any research, and that concerns me. And I feel like it concerns me because, you know, being raised in Los Angeles, we had like all of our areas were run by almost all Democrats, and we really had it bad as far as some of those communities were concerned. I mean, you know, you're driving down the road and the roads are raggedy, you know, things that need to be fixed that should have been fixed where you know that there's monies coming in. We just voted. So what you said you should have done should be done. None of that. So it just concerns me when I hear the rhetoric continuously repeated and then you get the exact same results that you got the last time, when it should be us, the people, holding them accountable for doing what is right. Does that make sense? We should be holding them accountable for doing what's right. But anyway, let's get on the sweetie pies because that's something good to me. I want to talk about that. I was shocked I'm not even going to read the story, you guys. Y'all already know. Does everybody know the story? You may or may not. Let's go on because C-Mac and I want to talk about it. So here we go, sweetie pies. Let's read this. This is terrible. I cannot believe this. So the feds are involved. The feds say that a Memphis stripper who was a part of a murder plot for hire is connected to the reality TV star. Why are they only tripping on this young lady, though, you guys? That's what gets me. Why is she now the fall guy? They haven't even given her bond. Not that I think she deserves bond or bail, but I'm just trying to understand why are they focusing on her and not on the cat so much? Most of the stories that I've read are leaning towards her. So they're basically saying that the young lady, Terica Ellis from Memphis, arranged a murder with the reality star James Tim Norman from the movie or the TV show Welcome to Sweetie Pies. Now, it says that she was a stripper there in Memphis. And if you guys remember back a while ago, they were going to put a Sweetie Pies in Memphis. And so they're saying that this is how he met her, is because they were putting the location there in Memphis. But you know what? I want to say this, regardless of what this young lady has to do with it, how nasty and dogged of this boy to stand around his mother knowing that she was broken and just torn apart about this child's death. That was the lowest of the low. Then Lovely T, shout out to her. I watched one of her things dealing with it, and I watched his face when they had a reunion. They had a reunion, and I watched his face when they talked about his this young man's death, and then how they talked about the other two people in the family that had died. I looked at his eyes and his body language, and you could see then that something wasn't right. But this guy he's ripped it for me. Now, what was he in prison for before, though? Because remember, he had gotten out of jail. Her son did. Does anybody remember? Okay, so it was awful. He was smiling on the mugshot. I was like, this dude is straight up cuckoo. He is cuckoo, cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. He is nuts. I mean, this big, gigantic, hey, Kool-Aid grin. This cat is something wrong with him. It really is something's wrong. Something is wrong with him. I think it was robbery, wasn't it, C-Mac? It was armed robbery, Heart Man Truth. Hey, Heart Truth, man. Hi. Okay, I got to give you a song, too. I don't know. I could hear it in my head, though. I just can't get it out. That's your song. Hello. Yeah, it was robbery. So it should have showed them that his mama knew he had the ability to go in that direction. But I heard, if you guys remember, again, shout out to Lovely T, because I did watch her show and she was mentioning the ex-girlfriend. You guys remember that girlfriend in the very first couple of 2 or 3 episodes where she was saying primarily you guys just don't know him? Essie, yes, Brooklyn is in the house. You guys, I wanna say right now, Essie Beckles, right there. Essie Beckles, when I was in Atlanta, all 3 of my salons she came to. She was one of my best customers and has ended up being one of my best friends. The most gorgeous, thick black hair that I wish that I could get my fingers into right now because I love doing hair. But when I owned my salons in Georgia, Essie Beckles became a very good, faithful customer to me and an even better friend. And I just thank God for her. I have several other people that are like her, but nobody has the same person's spot in my heart, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So I love you, sweetie, and I'm so glad you're here. So yes, Brooklyn is in the house, and now the party can get started. But anyway, you guys, we're talking right now about Sweetie Pies, the son that committed the murder. He literally had his own nephew killed for the insurance policy, $450,000, allegedly. We have to say allegedly. Why? Because everybody in the United States is innocent until they're proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Look, you guys, what would happen if it was an unbelievable plot twist? I mean, he's on the OWN network, and ain't no telling what it could be, but we do know for sure this child is no longer here. But what I was saying was, how do we know, since he had the propensity to set this up allegedly, how do we not know that he didn't have anything to do with everybody else? Because he's very selfish. He stole from his own mama. Remember, he utilized the name of her company to get loans to open up other companies. C-Mac, where was that? Where did he open up that other company? That it's all good to be a Democrat. You can be, look, it don't matter, Essie, if you're Democrat, if you're Republican, if you're Greenpeace, if you're independent, it doesn't matter. You guys, my only goal is to make sure that you guys are thinking for yourselves, that we think for ourselves, and that we don't just believe everything people tell us. That we can look at what they're saying, but then we go do our own research, our real research, looking and digging and seeing and understanding what did you do in the past and what did you do before. I believe that we should look at these folks and pretend like they are applying for a job and look at their resume and then do like we do at a job. Go and start digging. Go start looking. Find out if what they say they did is true. I remember when I was in human resources, but in a company that we had to do, I was the top recruiter, but I was a recruiter, but I had to do all of the background checks. OMG. I know some of you guys have probably had jobs like that or had to have them done, but when you do an extensive background check, they pull out everything. And then we had a lot of government contractors that we were placing people for, right? And man, when I tell you them cats dig deep, they be knocking on neighbors' doors. We used to have to tell the person now, they will do XYZ, but they go back when it's for federal contractors, some of them, and they're knocking on neighbors' doors to ask questions to find out. A lot of technical people that we used to place and stuff like that work with contracts, big stuff. So I think that we should do the same type of forensic background check on whomever it is that's telling us something, especially if we're going to give them something that is so valuable. It has no numeric value to it as far as, fiscal money or whatever, but it is a great tool. If it wasn't, they wouldn't be trying to get it so bad. It's just like any other relationship. Before I just trust you and give you my all, I need to check you out. I mean, I see your representative while we dating for the last 90 days, and I see him showing up looking all nice, smelling all good all the time, but it's something about you. I got to check you a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the representative, he gonna be hanging out. But when you can't take not getting any cookies and milk, that representative gonna bounce, and the real you who've been trying to come out, he gonna show up. And so I think it's important for us to do that work. We got to put in that work and check these people out. So if you are a Republican, if you are Greenpeace, none of that stuff matters to me. It does not matter. And I don't know what it is I'm listening to in my ears, but I'm listening to something out of bull. You guys know I'm like the most technically unsound person with this technical stuff. And I think I got something going in my ear. There it is, but I can't find it now. Wait, I see it. Okay, I got to click right there. Anyway, so I just don't think that it's cool to just go off and just start voting for people just because they're Republican or Democrat, especially if you don't know who the heck they really are. That's important. That's important. And that's why I likened it to a relationship. Am I still here? I don't know. Where did I go? What's down here? Am I gone? There I am. You guys, I'm telling you, I need some help. If I could just get 1/16 of Oprah's money and stuff, I could maybe get me a little studio and get me a whole lot of stuff. But anyway, let's see what we got going down here. I'm going to start up here. Really, C-Mac, his mother's house was robbed? Was that on one of the episodes? Or was that during this more recent time that his mother's home was robbed? Let me know about that. That's right. Read and research. So again, it doesn't matter, you guys. You could be anything you want to be. One thing I know for sure is you're my brother and my sister because you got blood running through your body. So you're human, and to me, that supersedes any group that you could belong to. You know what I'm saying? Because you're a person, and as long as we can have healthy dialogue with each other, I don't care, who a person is. As long as the dialogue can be healthy and we're not cussing each other out and we're not disrespecting one another and we're not getting down in the weeds and getting down in the dirt with each other, that's the stuff I can't do. I'm too old for that, first of all. Second of all, it's just so counterproductive. It does not, you don't get anything from that type of behavior at all. So let's see. This old guy at my job has something very interesting to say about politics. He said the reason Trump is hated so much because, believe it or not, Trump is a reflection of all of us in some way. I could respect that. I don't know, but it was while she had her show. It was probably him that robbed it. Okay, it was. It was probably him that either had the house robbed or he did it himself because he was really dirty. And you don't remember what city it was that he was opening up those restaurants. Now, the two in California, how did that ever end? Did those CMAC, did the two that's in California, did those ever end well, or did they ever end well? I don't know. I didn't see that because I know it was one in California. Oh, but you know what? Now that I'm remembering, what was that movie with T.I. and Mike Epps at the chicken thing? And then they went and had one in California too. Does anybody remember that movie? Oh my God, no. Hard Truth Man, say it isn't so. Really? Ew. With the cameraman, no less. Mm-mm-mm. Like my mama used to say, my birth mother, when she'd be watching her stories, dirty dog. Mm-mm-mm. Dirty dog. That's a dirty dog. She did that? My. Yes, he did. And they went to court over that. He opened up those restaurants, used her name and all that stuff, and then they end up going to court for it. And I'm not sure how that ever ended, but I do know that they did go to court. It was some trouble. Cali and St. Louis, yes. Which was sort of weird to me for California. Let me tell you why. Because the food restaurants in California, you get a few places that, and I could see why hers would have made success in how much? Oh my goodness. Oh Lord. She know that's probably why he had to go out and do some criminal activity. $100 million is a lot of money. I don't think so because you know what, I'm gonna say something. That lady is very smart. The way I think, Hard Truth Man, I think what happened was she is old school, and you know how they used to say old school people keep their money in the mattress. They're very particular with their money. I don't think that she would have given him partnership on paper. I think it was partnership in the words, partnership in you're my partner. Maybe, she would give him some autonomy or give him something, but I don't think she would have given him the right to sign. Hence, I don't think she would have had a standing to sue if she had sued him later in court if he was a financial partner. Does that make sense? I don't think that any judge would have accepted that paperwork because or that lawsuit because clearly she would have had no standing had she attempted to sue somebody who was literally a partner who had equal rights to open and close businesses. I heard that he owed people for these restaurants that he was opening up and needed to pay them. That's probably it. Because a lot of these people, it's so funny when people, I always akin people who have money or have access to money, especially when they start to do things like that, but in narcissistic ways, they really begin to believe that nobody else can see them, right? It's like nobody can see me. It's like when they get up so high, they truly believe that nobody can see me. I'm just invisible. And I'm going to go over here and do this because nobody can see me. It's because you are visible that people can see you. It's because you are in the limelight that people can see you. And that's the reason why you have to make sure that you are above board in the best way that you possibly can be. Now, some would say that because of his past and the things that he had done, that would be the reason why he was so easily led and manipulated by his own lust of money, power, and the ability to attempt to pay these people back that he, like you just said, owed. So that was the deal. No empathy at all. When you're doing something like that, it's like, I don't know, but what gets me is, let me just tell you guys from a girl's standpoint, what I thought about him when I first saw that show. It was the hips of it all. It was the hips of it all. I could not get past this man's hips. It was like he had a female body, and ain't nothing wrong with that if that's who you are, but he was straight trying to be hard. He just didn't seem attractive. And it just seemed like he had this imbalance of some kind. He just had these hips, and then he had the gynecomastia going on, just trying to look like he was just extra hard, walking around. I'm like, yikes, that's creepy. I don't find that attractive. Please put it all away. Get it away. No way. I don't want it. I couldn't imagine that coming at me. I would be like, oh Lord, put it all away. Put it away. He needs more than a gym, though. Don't you think he needs more than, it's just like he's built like his mother, literally. I had a friend named Nada, and she used to date this guy, and she goes, he was a bus driver, and I think it was because he used to sit so much. He got out and he was walking like this because he had the hips. Not that there's anything wrong with having hips. I got hips, so I already know ain't nothing wrong with having hips. I just don't find it attractive. So with that said, I knew something wasn't right. Yeah, plastic surgery. And a butter knife. Meow. Meow. Just shave some of it off. Shave it all away, dear. In my Mrs. Doubtfire voice. No, he needs to tone. I go to the gym every day. He can fix that. Well, he gonna have a whole lot of time to do it. He had a whole lot of time to do it. Listen, everybody that's coming in, thank you so very much for being here. Of course, this is Felicia Lockhart. And I am, something great that I want to tell you guys. I will be going back into radio. And so for those of you who have not read my bio, let me give you a little bit of background. I started in radio in 1991. I started in radio back then, and I worked at a few radio stations. My first station that I worked at was a rock station in Missouri. I worked at a rock station there for a good little while, and then after that, I moved over to a country station where I did the news, the weather, the baseball game on Friday nights, any type of sports that they had. I did all that, the switching of the channels and all that stuff, so we could run commercials and then do all this other stuff. So I did that. And then I did, of course, all their commercials, the ones that were assigned to me. And then when I moved to Texas, I worked at a station there. So with that said, I am going to start doing a podcast. Now, I've not necessarily decided which vehicle I'm going to use, but I think it'll probably be like it was originally back when I was in Georgia, where Essie remembers me in Georgia. I had Blog Talk, so I'm not sure if I want to do Blog Talk or not, but I do still have that account. So I was thinking, why not just go over there, do some shows, and then move them over here to YouTube so that you guys could listen to the podcast that we did. And so we're trying to get the show a little more organized here on YouTube so that I'm not so just like all over the place. Let's see. How I know DL Hughley was I actually grew up with his wife. She and I went to school together, and he used to come to the campus all the time and wait to pick her up. And then when he wasn't picking her up, he was never at his own school, mind you. He was in and out of school. But that's how I know him, because we all went to school together. And he really didn't go to school, you guys. He's a smart guy. But we really didn't go to school together because he wasn't supposed to be on our campus. Does that make sense? She and I graduated together, but he was at the school all the time because she went there. So that's how I know. Hello, Cindy Evans. Hello. Cindy is another person, you guys get to know her. She is like my sister, but she produced all of my albums. So every CD that I made post 2000, it was Cindy. So all of my songs that I recorded, she actually recorded the Crenshaw Christian Center's Christmas CD, and I think that's still for sale, isn't it, Cindy? Even though it was so long ago. So I'm the female on there, the female lead on there, but she is the person who did all the production, the vocals. She was the executive producer on my first solo project, and then we later did some ballads and stuff like that. And so she is one of the most unbelievable vocal producers that I have ever had the opportunity to work with. She's just off the chain. Sometimes I'll hear work that'll remind me of her. But yeah, hands down. I wish I had some of the stuff. Well, I do. I have some cover songs that we did that are on my channel here. But as far as what she has the ability to do, she is off the chain. There's really nobody that can touch her. Nobody. And nobody who can get out of me what you need to get out of me. Because I can get, real like chill. But yeah, she pulls it out of me, and I appreciate it. And she also keeps me pretty well balanced, because you guys know I can be a little flighty sometimes, but she keeps me pretty balanced, because she'll kick me in the keister when I'm not on target. And that's what I think a good friend should be. We've been friends for a long time. We had the opportunity to work together. So I work with children. I'm reading C-Mac's comment. Hold on, you guys. That is so true. Donna Daly. Hello, Donna. Ooh, ooh. And Donna, I'm giving everybody a song and a dance when they come in. So that's yours. I love Donna. Donna's hilarious. I consider Donna the one-hitter quitter, because she'll come in and make a comment and it'll be like, all right, let's go now. I read some of her stuff sometimes, and I will be flat on my back after that. Hilarious. But anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's all because of this chick up at the top here, Miss Cindy Evans. And if you guys know of anybody who needs to do any vocal training, that's what she does, and she does it virtually. And I tell you what, she should charge a whole lot more than she does for what she does. When I tell you some of the baddest singers, off the chain singers, she's had the opportunity to work with a lot of the people who are in the professional arena now. So I was just blessed to have her in my life. So I love you, honey bunch. And I love her daughter, who's like a goddaughter. She is my goddaughter. And so that's super. So we have talked about Sweetie Pies, and I don't think that we're going to be done with that, because I feel like this story is going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, much like his hips. I think it's just going to keep getting larger and larger and larger. It's got some yeast in it somewhere. But I think that there's some stuff to this story. It's not as cut and dry as they're making it out to be. $450,000 is a lot of money. Yes, it is. But it's clearly not enough money to take the life of a loved one. There's never any amount of money, but I'm just saying something doesn't seem right about the whole thing. That goofy mugshot of his with the cheeks and the smiling. Let me see if I can find it, because you guys know I don't know how to do nothing here on this computer like that. But I want to show you guys the face that he was making. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. To see Mac's point and to everybody's point, I couldn't believe that that mugshot looked like that. So let's see if I can find it here online. Um, I'll just plug in Sweetie Pies and see what happens. Sweetie Pie's son mugshot. Oh, wow. This must have been him when he was smaller. Oh, you guys, I see why. Because he was never supposed to be that healthy, that chunky. Can you guys see that picture? Probably not. See that picture? He's about to get real. Well, he is about to get a real checkup in jail. Candida. Quite yeasty Candida. Candida. That's a funny name. Now, can you imagine somebody with a child named Candida? Hi, my name is Candida. Hello. Well, Candida, how have you been feeling? I don't know. I just feel a little bloated. Get it, Candida, bloated. Y'all get it. Y'all know I have a terrible sense of humor sometimes, but I can crack up laughing if something is funny. All right, here goes some images right here. Look at the mugshot, you guys. Hey, wait a minute. Here's another mugshot. So what is this one? Oh, wait a minute. He was more. Oh, I'm sorry. He looked unique. Here, can you see that? He looked more angry here when he was arrested by assault for assault. Y'all see that? I hope you can see it. But that's how he looks when he was arrested for assault. How long ago was this assault, though? Well, this was August 27th. So he was in trouble of 2018, you guys. He was in trouble right then. It says, welcome to Sweetie Pie's star. Tim Norman was arrested and booked on assault charges that stemmed from an incident last year where he was accused of punching his ex-restaurant employee. On August the 23rd, Norman was booked into jail in Harris County, Texas. The reality star had his fingerprints taken, and he was bonded out later in the day after paying $500 cash. It says that Norman was charged earlier in the year with misdemeanor assault by the district attorney in Harris County, Texas. The police claimed that on April the 16th of 2017, Norman punched a guy in the face named Horace Hodges, who was a chef at Sweetie Pies. Hodges claims to have been talking to Norman about paychecks and for other employees, which allegedly escalated to the point where Norman became angry and punched him in the left eye. Authorities were then called. Norman's ex-girlfriend of Basketball Wives, Jennifer Williams, who was at the restaurant on the day in question, told the police that she didn't see the assault, but that Norman told her that he did punch him in the face. Wow. So this guy's been into stuff for a minute, and again, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Okay, so here, oh my, well, I'm gonna show you the shiner. Here's the shiner. That's the shiner he gave the guy. Can you see the shiner that he gave the guy? That's the shiner. That's terrible. But here's the one from him killing the nephew. Now remember, allegedly killing the nephew. But remember, you guys, the other one was for assault, and he seemed to be pretty good to go. Mean, upset, as you should be when you go to jail. This is him after being accused of murder. You see that? Can you imagine? That is there's obviously something afoot. There's obviously something afoot. And that is a great segue into our next topic. Before we get off, you guys, this is something that hits very close to home. And it's only 8 of you here, and that's a good thing because that means that those of you who are here are supposed to hear this, and it will help you to take what I'm about to say and help somebody else. Have you ever had in your life an issue or a situation where something happened so long ago that you could not really think about it in your present time? But that if you smelled something like a fragrance, or if you saw somebody behaving a certain way, maybe even 20, 30 years later, 15 years later, it brought everything back to you? Have you ever had that experience? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit of something. Several years ago, several years ago, and it goes into where we are right now today. Several years ago, I had the encounter to be married when I was 19. Immediately after the death of my birth mother, I married this guy, trying to hold on to family, right? So I got married to this cat, and immediately after getting married, he started to have these voices. Well, he was physically abusive, he was off the chain. That was awful, which is what made me leave. But in tandem with being physically abusive, he began to hear things. Okay, we're going somewhere with this. And I'm sharing because I'm transparent and that's just who God made me, because I believe that it frees somebody else. So why hold on to things when you can help somebody? But here's the deal, you guys. So I had pretty much pushed back in my mind what had happened with this guy so many years ago. But just recently, something went on with a mental health issue with one of my family members. And all of a sudden, the fears that I felt while I was dealing with this person who had drug induced paranoid schizophrenia, it took me back to that time. And so that's what brings me to today. The conversation that I want to have today is really a serious one. And my daughter's my daughter's got the 2 sons. You guys may know back 100 videos ago, I talked about my little grand boys and how I had to help my daughter raise them. Well, now she's all, praise God, she's got her own place. She's got a good job. You know, they got a room over there. Although they don't want to leave and stay there, they go back and forth. But that's neither here nor there. She has a son, and that son, my grandson, has another little brother. Yesterday, the other little brother's mother, totally different. It's my daughter's ex-boyfriend's other baby mama. That's how you say that, other baby mama. This young man had this young lady, and these 2 kids, my grandson and this other little boy, are literally 2 days apart. I'm going in the direction of mental health help because this young lady just killed herself yesterday. The family member that I'm telling you about is very close to me, and he is losing it. Here's where we're headed. Just like back then, the fears and all of the stuff that I dealt with dealing with a loved one who was cuckoo crazy at that point, because he really was, who ended up being dead later. But the issue that I'm making is the fact that mental health in our community is never given the attention that it needs. Mental health within our community in general is bad enough, but within the Black community, it is bad. Right now, because we are locked in our homes, some of us in certain states, depending on what state you live in, there are some people who are not out. There are other states where they're a little more lenient with regards to the COVID-19 going in and out of the home or going back and forth to work. With that said, you never know what somebody is going through. I think that's what I really want to say. I was a little nervous trying to figure out what direction I was going to go to get you guys to this place. But barring all of that, the most important thing I want to drive home is if you know somebody who is experiencing a mental health challenge, Drugs right now are at an all-time high, going hand in hand with mental health. People are using methamphetamine. People are using opioids out the window. People are soothing themselves with alcohol, with all kinds of things. And our young kids, our young people, I I don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. So whatever you can do for somebody in your family, or if God allows your ears to hear about a child or a young person in passing that seems to be depressed, maybe you're talking to somebody or some two other people you know are talking and you overhear it and you're able to help. God allowed you to hear that for a purpose and a reason. Because right now people are being shut in. People don't feel like they have any hope. People don't feel like they know anybody that loves them. People don't feel like they have any support. People feel like it's just them. No, it's not just them. The way that we can help them is to give them a call, send them a WhatsApp, send them a text, send them a message. um Ms. Terrell 2.0. So send somebody a message, send them some love, share them, get them out of that, y'all. Because this young lady had 3 kids and she left those kids yesterday. No more than 28, 29 years old. She left those babies yesterday. She took her own life yesterday. This loved one that I'm telling you about, walking up and down the streets, you can't bring him back. Can't bring him back. And this was drug induced. You cannot bring him back. The guy that I was telling you about from many years ago, drug induced, heard all kinds of things. Things are telling him all kinds of stuff. Our children are being attacked right now. Our young Black men and women are being attacked. And I don't know what the remedy is, but I do know that they should try Jesus. Somebody need to try Yeshua, Jesus, whatever you choose to call him. Somebody needs to try him. Because right now, these kids are the astronomical numbers. I pulled the numbers earlier dealing with uh, suicide and the mental health. And I did see some of the things that I pulled up regarding the mental health hospitals. A lot of those were disbanded, unfortunately, under the Obama administration. I didn't know there was over 66 of them nationwide that had been disbanded, which is the reason why you will see so many people walking around in communities. I wish I could, let me pull up this story right here. But there was, actually, it wasn't even a story, it was the statistics of people who have um, mental health. Here it is. It was 60 hospitals, I'm sorry, that were canceled due to the new Obama health law. That story was written April 12th, 2010. Let me see if I can put this link inside of the chat. And it was because of larger corporate hospitals. And it's under title. You guys, my whole point is it doesn't really matter who closed up the hospitals. I don't want to even get up on that. I was really just bringing that topic up so that we would understand where it started in relation to right now today, because technically that is 10 years ago. But here's the deal, you guys. No one is there to help our communities as it relates to mental health. And right now, people are eating foods that are not healthy. They have genetically modified organisms in the food. That's one thing. And then you have a great deal of people using the drugs. That's another thing. And then you have all of us being locked in our homes and locked away from other people. Imagine what the elderly are going through. So what I'm saying is mental health issues are at an all-time high right now. And if you have a family member that you love and that you know, get someplace and try to get them some help. But this particular loved one, for me, I have to lock my door at night. I literally lock my door and I literally put a chair up under my door. Because you can call the police, but they're not coming anymore. Real talk. I'm being honest. I gotta put a chair underneath the door because this person is that gone. Call the police. The police don't come out anymore. And people are talking about defunding the police right now. And so a lot of places are getting cuts. Police aren't coming out. There's something that has to be done, you guys, and it can only be done by prayer and fasting. That's why the scripture says that this kind cometh not out but by prayer and fasting. When they walked up to Yeshua and they said, how did you cast these demons out? How did you cast those out? And he goes, this kind cometh not out but by prayer and fasting. And so if you have a community organization in your area that is still open, that can help somebody that you know, please get that person some type of help. If you can't do nothing but sit on the phone and talk to them and listen to them, if they're in a normal state, you can have a conversation with them and talk them down from suicide. There is a suicide hotline number, and I know that it's a nationwide suicide number. If you guys don't have it handy, I'm going to type it here. And you guys can give that number to somebody. You can maybe call them, get some information on how you can help them make it along the way. I don't know, but I do know that we got to do something. We have to do something, because this morning when I heard about that young girl taking her life, I just could not believe it. I mean, I just cried. Again, mind you, now it's my grandson's brother's mom. So Black Spring, are you still here? Billy Hill? Billy Hill? Hello, Billy Hill. Are you asking me a question, sweetie? I see here Billy Hill is a little upset. He said, hello, do you speak English? What's wrong, Billy? What did you ask? Billy feels ignored. I'm sorry, Billy. Yes, yes, yes. That's right, Cindy. Hello, do you speak English? Answer my question. Well, Billy Hill, I'm sorry. Can you please get a number for the suicide hotline? I'm a little nervous right now because I feel like I'm really being transparent, but it's on purpose. But I am nervous, so it's like sort of hard for me to focus. But I'm being this transparent, you guys, because I feel like a lot of times, if you could get that and put it in the chat, ma'am, I will so appreciate you. Thank you, Black Spring. I just feel like a lot of times that we're not honest, and that's probably why we have the problems that we do in our communities, because people aren't telling you, hey, I'm afraid to go outside, or I'm afraid to let somebody in my house, or I'm afraid that, this is going to happen to my relative, or I'm afraid the lights are going to get cut off. I'm afraid that this is going to happen. I'm afraid that everybody has a level of fear, but I think that it is the lack of transparency in our leadership, the lack of transparency in our communities, the lack of transparency in our churches, the lack of transparency in our families. I think it's that prevents people from feeling like they got any hope. And the reason why that is because they think everybody thinks they're perfect. Okay, I think you're perfect, so I don't think you're going to understand, so I can't tell you. When you don't even know this person over here, you're going through physical abuse at home. This person getting knocked upside the head, but they're not being honest. They're making you think it's all great and grand. Extra makeup on the face to make you think that nothing is up. You got to be transparent about some things sometimes, because you never know, your breakthrough and another person's breakthrough just might come through you being real and being honest. That's real talk. There's nothing else you can say about that. Either you can hold on to it and let somebody next to you perish. When they gone, what you're going to say? Oh, something told me to call him. Something told me to call. Something told me to tell her. Something told me. Really? Seriously? You go through stuff simply to be a blessing to somebody else, whether you know it or not. It's just how I see it. Yeah, Donna, you're absolutely right. They are busy fronting. CMAC, as well as Black Spring with Autumn, God bless both of you. Here in the link, you guys, there are national suicide hotlines. And this is going to make me cry. I'm going to tell you why. Because right now, you all feel something in the air. Everybody feel like something heavy is in the air. If you are in tune with anything, we all know something heavy and thick is in the air. And when stuff start hitting and getting close to home like this, that means you ain't the only person feeling it. So I know if I'm experiencing it, then that means that I'm supposed to tell somebody that this nation is under siege. Our children are under siege. They are at an this is an attack on the very core of our country. It has nothing to do with Republican, it has nothing to do with Democrat. What is going on right now is a direct attack on the core of our people. And to get us out the way on the face of this planet, God's creation, man, is to make sure that there's enough confusion, to make sure that there is enough defeat, to make sure that there's enough despair, to make sure that there is more than enough loneliness, to make sure that there's more than enough self-pity, more than enough hatred, to make sure that's the goal. Well, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against powers, principalities, rulers, wickedness in high places. And it's that's coming down here because people are not equipped with the word, and because people don't want to admit what's going on in their life, they are missing it. And they're in a battle every single day, and they get knocked upside the head. But because they don't know how to take up their weaponry and fight, they get beat up. We get knocked down. We're losing our soldiers. We're losing our arrows. Well, the Bible says that a man that has his quiver full is wise. Quiver go on your back. You pull out your bows out your quiver. You put them inside your bow and arrow, you go. But our children are under attack. Our babies are under attack. Don't matter if they're blue, green, purple, yellow, orange, our children. That's right. She says, they say follow the signs, but what about God? Hey, this is what you get when you kick him out the schools. This right here is what you get when you kick him out of our lives. What we dealing with right now, everybody looking for a man to be the answer. Everybody looking for a man to do something better. Everybody looking for a human being that has the ability to lie, to massage their brain and give them something that the last guy couldn't give. How about the fact that God said, I am sufficient? How about leaning on him? How about trusting him? That girl is gone, and she left 3 kids. That girl is gone. She said, that's it, I'm out. They said that she called a family member and said, called a relative, a friend, a relative, and said, come get this gun a few days back. And the person said, I'm busy right now, but I'll come over there and get it, and never did. That baby gone. 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 So I appreciate you guys for tuning in today. I will ask that you guys, if you know somebody that needs that help and that love, please, 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 please do not think that when you hear the conversation, there's something going on around you, that it wasn't meant for you, that you don't need to peer in the conversation. If after today you hear somebody having a conversation, this is God telling you, because he speaks through people. It's okay, but in that conversation. It's all right. He's telling you, but in that conversation, get that number out your phone and get it to that person. Yeah. Do that. Do that. Because the battle that we are fighting right now is not with human beings. It is in the spirit realm. And that is the reason why it is attacking the mind. And if you guys remember, most of us, when we was younger, Most of us was either Church of God in Christ, we was either Baptist, that was Holy Ghost filled Baptist, or we went to a faith-filled church, or somewhere where we had that weaponry. These kids ain't got that. A lot of these kids ain't praying in tongues. A lot of these kids ain't speaking in tongues. A lot of these kids don't know how to get a prayer through. A lot of these kids don't know the word. They're just as soon run up on you and take something from you versus go out here and believe God to give them something to meet their need. So they don't have what we had. That's the reason why the majority of them, including some older as well, that's the reason why, part of the reason they don't know God. They are very wise when it comes to technology. They know a whole bunch about technology. I've got a 3-year-old grandson who could take this cell phone and work it better than I ever thought I could, but they're very, very smart with technology, but they're weak in the spirit. And so we got to see what's up, you guys, and we got to begin to stay up in the middle of the night praying. You remember them moaning women? Some of y'all got some grandmamas who used to moan a little bit. In the middle of the night, y'all be sleeping. The next thing you know, you hear somebody. We're going to have to get back to moaning, y'all. Because sometimes there's no words. I'm being real, you guys. I'm being very, very real right now. This is what we got to do. Because when you consider grandbabies and babies ain't going to have Momo and Pawpaw here for a long time, we got to do something, you guys. So you guys, thank you for coming in. Thank you for chatting. Amen. The difference between the churchgoers and believers. Yes, they have, Donna. They cannot read, write, or comprehend. And so that's the reason why with love, we got to come in with love. Love, love, love. Because right now they're destroying our kids with everything that's vile, everything that's ugly, everything that's filthy, everything that we would never do. We can't even watch cartoons with the kids without some little cartoon character twerking toward the camera on the cartoon. We can't even watch a movie together without the commercials coming here offending us and offending our eye gates. And so it is definitely attack. Everything you guys are saying is right. I love you too, Precious. I'm going to go ahead and get off here, you guys. But what I do want to know is what you guys think about the radio show. I think it's a great idea because I think what you'll be able to do is in that radio format, what I do is I read the stories. We talk about the stories. You can call in on the radio show, right? And then we're able to have a better dialogue. I truly believe that it's important for you guys to get to know who you are subscribed to. For those of you who are subscribed, I think it's so important. You have to get to know me, right? And these relationships do mean something, you guys, because it's not by accident that we are in each other's lives. It's just not. So I think that by doing that, you guys think that's a good idea? Yeah. Yes, that's true, C-Mac. Have you guys ever noticed how healing that is? Yes, that would be a good idea. But you know what? You just said something important right here. All you need is a hug. Where's that? Sometimes, have you ever had a hug and you just felt like, oh my God, this is so awesome? How many of you out there have been told you're a good hugger? I've been told, oh my God, that was a great hug. You're a good hugger. That's what they're trying to stop, you guys. Think about the psychological warfare that we are encountering right now. Think about that. No hugs. Elderly people haven't seen their loved ones. Remember, there was a study done a long time ago that showed that if you don't hug a baby, that they get ill, and some they had in the study passed away. There was a study that showed that many years was sort of odd and disgusting, but they do show that without any human touch, you suffer. So the 6 feet, the 6 feet, the 6 feet, if you got a person in front of you, you guys are 6 feet away. Then the person on the right of you, 6 feet away. 6 feet. That's a triangle. 6, 6, 6. That number. You guys, we're under attack. We're under attack. This is that. This is the book of Enoch. This is the book of Revelation. This is Daniel. This is Ezekiel. This is that. My question to everybody that's here right now in the chat, what you gonna do? You ready? You ready? What you got? What you got? Take upon you the shield of faith, wherewith you will be able to quench the fiery darts of the wicked one. Put on the helmet of salvation. I know the word. Mixing it up a little. But what you got? Are your feet shod with the preparation of peace? You got on the breastplate of righteousness, do you? You got that? What you got? Got salvation? What you got? There's no time for joking no more, y'all. This is that. We're at the door. The door is open. First we could see the door. Now the door is open. Now we're so close to the door we can smell what they're cooking from the inside. What you got? Are you going to take something so that you can eat, so that you can buy, so that you can sell? Don't get mad, get right. This is that. It's time for us to repent. It is time for us to lay all that would separate us from him for eternity down at the altar and ask him for forgiveness and to live our lives according to his will and his word. Remember, we did a thing the other week, and I'm gonna let you guys go, but if you remember, I said I just love how people love the B side of the scripture. You know, oh, God said just pray and he'll heal your land. No, 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 no. You don't get over it that easy. He said, if my people who were called by my name would humble themselves and pray, would turn away from their wicked ways, right? He gave you some A part and you like the B part, but he said, turn away, repent, submit, become contrite before me. Then will I hear from heaven, and then I will heal your land. It's a quid pro quo relationship. This for that. You do this, and I'll give you that. Submit, and I will give you what you want. So, y'all, something to think about. Excellent Friday. I so appreciate you. You guys have a good day and an even better weekend. And yeah, love somebody, hug somebody, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Don't touch nobody, because you know right now everybody gonna be tripping and stuff. All right, y'all. I love you guys. You guys take care. And let's do this again real soon. Yeah, now that I know how to fix my camera. Oh, Black String. Where is he? Black Spring. You know what the problem was with the camera? I had it off. The F8 says camera off up here on the keyboard. That's why we were in the dark the other night. All right, you guys. I love you too, Donna. I love all of you guys. You guys be blessed. Touch somebody, love somebody, help somebody. If somebody come across your mind, stop doing what you're doing and love on that person. Okay? Y'all take care. All right. Y'all know I got to figure out how to get out of here. All right. Bye-bye. There it is.